Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you tonight, viewers. You're not trying to make money. When you hear you have a staff and you can enjoy working with them. It'll be the best thing, you know. Production is carry on, you know. Work is be sweet, entertaining. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago. Remember, viewers, we at Real Talk Financing, we offer the highest interest rate in Trinidad and Tobago. There are no other financial institution in this country of Trinidad and Tobago that is giving you 5% on a fixed deposit with the interest up front. Nobody, no other institution in Trinidad and Tobago is giving you the interest up front. Like I said, once you open a fixed deposit with us, viewers, within 7 to 14 days time, our office is going to call you to come collect your interest up front. Remember that. Real Talk Financing is the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is doing that. So remember that. Also, viewers, those of you having spiritual problems, feel free to contact me. Remember, those of you remember I'm into spiritual work, born spiritually gifted. So you're having spiritual problem, feel free to contact me, viewers. My numbers are always on screen. Also, remember, Real Talk Credit Union, we offer the FIP plan. So if you don't have insurance FIP plan for your family, feel free to contact the Credit Union South or Central. Numbers are on screen. Get your FIP plan, viewers, up and running to secure your family. Remember that. So as we start off our program tonight, updates. Grenada's Minister of Foreign Affairs has confirmed that the United States has placed a visa restriction on the country's Minister of Finance. The ministry said the measure was communicated during a meeting between Grenada ambassador to the United States and a delegation from the U.S. Department of State in Washington on August 19th. It added that both governments reaffirmed their commitment to the long outstanding relationship and agreed to continue using diplomatic channels to address matters of concerns. The ministry said it will provide further information as discussions continue. So Trinidad and Tobago, I remember recently, not too long ago, when they had some, Mia Motley had some meeting in her country, Rav Gonzalez also, they said they don't mind if they have to give up their visas, you know. They don't mind, you know. I believe it had something to do with the Cubans, employing Cubans doctor in your Ministry of Health. And Rav Gonzalez and I believe Mayor Motley said they don't have a problem giving up their visas as long as they can employ Cubans, nurses and doctors to work in their health facility in their countries to better their citizens. Now, I cannot see why the US is having problems with Caribbean countries employing Cubans. I don't see why they have a problem with that. In the US, people are getting treated according to the US Health Department. In Grenada, you will get treated according to the health sector. In St. Lucia, it's the same thing. In Trinidad, it's the same thing. Tobago is the same thing. Even in Trinidad, we hire Cubans to do nurse work, doctor work. That's the reality of it. If we don't have a particular skilled person in the health sector, we bring them from a foreign country and give them employment into our own country. So I don't see why the US is making a fuss for that. But nevertheless, viewers, as the story unfolds, we will keep you updated. So, former Prime Minister Stuart Young is now urging that CARICOM and the wider Caribbean region must remain a zone of peace. This, as concerns mount over a brewing military conflict between the United States and Venezuela. The message came amid an ongoing build-up of powerful U.S. military naval fleet off the coast of Venezuela, purportedly to curb narcotic trafficking cartels. Now, viewers, I want to let you understand something. If you don't understand it, I've been following up on this news, and Biden administration said to the world that we are sending fleets, U.S. Navy fleets, to the Caribbean. The main reason for this is to combat drug trafficking and drug traffickers from sending their product to the United States. This is one of the main reason those fleets, ships, are in the Caribbean. And Donald Trump said that. I believe the Homeland Security Minister also said that. And the directors in the US government said that. The main reason for the fleets, US fleets coming to the Caribbean, is to combat drug cartel sending their product to the US. If we had somebody bold like that in Trinidad, standing up, let me tell you something, you know how better this country would have been? You know how good this country would have been? But we don't have that kind of boldness here in Trinidad. We don't have that kind of boldness. Now, while Young, as a former minister, has worked for Trinidad and Tobago to access Venezuelan oil and gas, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has adopted a U.S. line and termed Maduro a narco-terrorist. On August 21st, the U.S. Embassy in Venezuela issued a stern travel advisory to U.S. citizens. The U.S. has accused Maduro regime of narco, trafficking, and election fraud. Reports of 8 U.S. warships plus 4,500 sailors and Marines headed into the waters off Venezuela coast. Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro has vowed to counter the U.S. fleet by mobilizing 4.5 million military men. Venezuela says, since the expulsion of the American Drug Enforcement Agency from its territory in 2005, Venezuela has achieved overwhelming result in the fight against organized crime, and it claims great success in dismantling criminal network and effective border control. Is that true? I leave that for you to answer, viewers. I leave that for you to answer. International relation expert Dr. Anthony Gonzalez has stated that Trinidad and Tobago government must maintain a stance of neutrality as tension brew between the United States and Venezuela in the waters of Trinidad and Tobago following the deployment of a U.S. naval fleet and military asset to the region. He said the government must be brilliant, vigilant, and resist any overtures that could pull TNT into this fray. Listen to this.
Get involved on one side or the other. You have to try to steer a kind of ship of neutrality, if you want to put it like it, on non-alignment. You maintain good relations with everybody, try not to be a proxy of anybody, and try as far as possible to get some kind of diplomacy going, some kind of negotiation going between the two parties.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, I want to understand something. This fight is not between us and Venezuela. It is not between us and the United States. The United States clearly came out and said that they are trying to combat drug cartels from getting their product into the U.S. And also, I believe the U.S. government has increased the fine of $50 million for anyone capturing Maduro. But that is between them. That is not between Trinidad and Tobago. Meanwhile, regional security expert Gavin Herrera noted that while the presence of the U.S. military vessel in the Caribbean waters is not unprecedented, there could be underlying motives at play. Gavin.
As it is now, there is a tension in the atmosphere, and we are inching towards a conflict zone, and a conflict zone can have serious repercussions for everyone. So we have to wait and see, and I think at this time, engaging in diplomatic conversations and advising with regard to Trinidad and Tobago's posture in readiness should something go in the next direction is also that part of the homework aspect.
So now, viewers, movement for social justice leader David Abdullah condemned the U.S. military build-up in the Southern Caribbean targeted at Venezuela. The UNC government has since remained silent. The Venezuelan government says they perceived threats from the U.S. jeopardize the peace of the entire region. You see, I'll tell you this thing. I'll tell you this. Because of the fact that I am also into security, I want you all to understand something. I want you all to understand something carefully. This threat is not about Trinidad. This threat is not about Guyana, Grenada, Barbados, St. Vincent, the Grenadine. No. The U.S. sent military warships to the Caribbean to counteract drug trafficking. And I want to let you understand that. Stuart Young have to be careful on how he is speaking. Dr. Rowley have to be careful on how he is speaking. Our defense minister have to be careful on what they are saying. Homeland Security Minister Alexander have to be very careful on how they are going about dealing with this. Because I am telling you, the only reason that those ships are here is because Trump and his administration wants to counteract and take control and condemn the drug cartels. That is the main reason why those ships are in the Caribbean. All you must listen late night news. All you must follow up on it. Don't get carried away by these ministers in Trinidad and Tobago. Don't get carried away by Stuart Young and Dr. Rowley and them, you know. They used to go Venezuela. They tried to fix the dragon gas deal. But what they didn't understand is that they would, a country like Trinidad and Tobago, who has not have a sanction on it. Former ministers were doing business with a sanctioned country. And that is a problem right there. We could have been sanctioned by the U.S. But did they care? They didn't. And that is what they are not coming out and telling you. They wouldn't come out and tell you that. But I side will come out and tell you that. So I want you all to be very careful by the statements the former ministers and the present ministers are making. Be very careful. Efforts to contact Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sobers, as well as Prime Minister Kamala Prasad-Bisasa, for a formal comment on the development were unsuccessful. So Trinidad and Tobago, are you worried about the President Trump deploying warships off the Venezuelan coast? They're not here for us. They're not here for us. They are here to take control. They are here to put an end to cartels in the Caribbean. They are here to prevent drugs, guns, ammunition illegally from entering the U.S. You see, not much individual will come out and tell you the truth, you know. Everybody will try to go around it. Oh, the U.S. sent ships in the Caribbean and we're going at war, and just now we're going to be at war, and just now the prices will go. No. Don't get carried away. Don't get carried away. No. Listen, understand, and then speak. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. When we return, there's lots more. We have 2 interviews tonight. Stay locked on.
We'll be right back.
wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back to Real Talk. Like I said, we have 2 interviews tonight, viewers. But before we go to the interview, a dramatic incident unfolded during a live stream satsang at a Hindu temple when Kenny Ramgobind, a well-known drummer from the Enterprise Shogunas community, struck the singer Kavish Shankar on the head. The altercation stemmed from Kenny's discontent with the manner in which the singer had signaled him to play the drum. So Trinidad and Tobago, we have on the line tonight Keshav. We want to find out what actually transpired that caused this incident to go viral. Now, viewers, this satsang was being streamed live. So we are going to ask here on the line. Keshav, good night, sir.
Good night. Can you hear me?
Now, can you tell us what transpired for things to escalate in the way it did?
Yes. Well, usually, when a drummer is not paying attention, sometimes we will tap the keys on the harmonium, or sometimes we will sing the song on the drum to help the drummer get back in time. Yeah. So, however, Kenny didn't respond in that way. I believe there was a lot more behind his mind. He acted enviously and violently, and he proceeded to hit me, although I apologized to him. Yeah.
During the video, you managed to keep your calm. Can you tell us how you felt after the altercation?
Oh, I was still broken-hearted and hurt inside to have that experience. You know? But I understand. I grew up learning the Vedic science from since I was a child, and I understand that these things happen in life. We are all under this influence of ignorance and passion and false ego and so on like that. So this is just the effects of time, but we always want to stay in the light. That's what I learned.
My friend, we do want to thank you for taking the time out to explain to Trinidad and Tobago what actually took place. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So Trinidad and Tobago, you have the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth as the unfolding of the incident. So we are going for a short commercial break, viewers, and we're going to try and get our second interview on stream. We'll be right back after this.
We'll be right back.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real public concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over
with upfront interest.
Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, like I said, we have a second interview for you. This time, we have on the line Kenny Ramgobin. Kenny, good night, sir.
Good night. I can hardly hear you, sir. Just let me just try my volume. Well, my volume is up all.
I believe you could raise your volume on your television set.
I don't have cable at the moment,
Oh, okay.
so I'm just on my phone. So I'm not seeing any TV or anything like that.
All right, nice. So Kenny, can you tell us what transpired for things to escalate the way it did on that night?
Who I'm speaking with, sir? Can you give me a name?
Saieed.
Okay, yes, sir. I was playing Dola for this individual, I wouldn't call him, and he, prior to the video that you all saw, for 2 hours prior to that, I was playing, and I was sitting in the back, and he was getting all aggressive, and he was making some gestures with the music, and I didn't see, but somebody who was listening was texting me and telling me what was happening, and I didn't know. And when I came forward, I caught up with the situation, and there I confronted them, and at this very moment, I snap, I lose my cool, I lose my temper. It was very unfortunate. I do apologize, and I tried to contact the individual, and no luck so far. Other media houses already issued a public apology on my behalf. I would not want to call the name of the media house because I know the media issues and so. That's about it, sir.
Now, Kenny, has anything like this happened before in the past?
No. All through my years, I have never had any issues with anybody. That little verbal thing over people owing your money and thing when you're a musician and you go to play, not in temples, so I wasn't heavily involved in the chatting music at that time. And we had issues with people, and you always have that, and sometimes you walk away and you leave the money, but nothing like this. I still am shocked that I lose myself over the situation, and I say I deeply apologize to the individuals and to the Hindu community and the drumming world, the entire Indian industry and who have been offended. I sincerely apologize.
Kenny, do you and the pundit have any discord?
He's not a pundit. May I correct you? So he's just a singer.
Oh, he's a singer?
Yeah, there's a misinformation that went out on social media, and people because of the dress code that the individual has been in a temple. People call me pundit all the time, and we just leave it because you're in the temple, you're a musician, you tend to look like that, like you're dressed like that. So it's a normal thing for people to call you pundit or sadhu or brahmin or whatever, right? It's a normal thing in the society.
So he's just a singer?
Yeah, he's a singer as far as my knowledge.
Right.
There's no information at hand that he's a pundit or anything like that.
I understand. Kenny,
maybe he has the ability and the qualities to go forward, and we wish him well in that area.
I understand.
Well, once I am not perfect and he is not perfect, and no individual also is perfect. And I wish the individual good luck, once he made those changes and go forward, I think, like myself. All is well.
I understand. Kenny, thank you so much for taking our call tonight and being live on the
That is so wonderful for me to having you come on this interview, and all the best, and I am working on my my little situation. I hope that this too shall pass. God bless, and good night.
Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago, there you have it, the unfolding of the incident as to why it happened, what transpired. We heard from both sides. Nevertheless, viewers, things do happen. We want to wish both of them the best in their career, and hopefully they can make up this and get bypass this whole incident. Now, a satsang is something that the Hindus have. Sometimes they give praise, they give thanks, they keep a satsang to celebrate. That's their thing. We don't want to condemn the Hindu religion because of this incident. So please, those of you who think about condemning, no, don't do that. Don't. I am telling you, don't do that. Human being is a creature. We have a nature to get angry very fast. Very fast. Sometimes it may lead to killing. Sometimes it may lead to wounding with intent. But at the end of the day, let's try not to condemn one another religion. Please, let's not do that. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program here, but you explain these things well. I don't think you could have done a better job to have these two gentlemen there. But I think something terribly went wrong with both of them, because on the harmonium player, he should not have acted that way. Because if the drummer was out of timing, something must have went wrong with the drummer. His mind and so on probably stray a little bit, and he lose timing with the harmonium player and so on. So in music, you don't do these things. Like the harmonium player should have turn his head and say, hey, you're out of timing, rather than behave as how he behaved on the harmonium with the keys. That was an arrogant behavior. And the drummer also should, when he indicated to him, you out of timing, you out of sync with me, the drummer should have stopped playing one time at that moment, and then, you know, they all communicate by shaking their head or watching each other. That's how we do it in music. But I used to play with a big band, so I can tell you. And I lose timing sometime, and the keyboard, the lead keyboard player will watch you, and he will smile. We smile, you know, we smile about it. And that's the end of that. And you say, hey, you was out of time, and so on. Anyway, you did a very great job in explaining to the citizens of this country with reference to the US vessels in the Caribbean and so on. Yes. This is nothing new unto the citizens of this country. And you know, you explain it well. This is nothing new to the Caribbean. And if the citizens of this country go back to several years, we always had a US vessel visiting Trinidad here like every 6 months or so. So nothing new. No. And the US vessels used to patrol the Caribbean. Yes. But when they went into recession and so on, the economy, the US economy, they scaled it back. Since in Obama days, they scaled it back. And then when Trump came, well, he actually stopped it. But the citizens of this country will recall the Black Hawk helicopters. That year, we had CARICOM operation and so on with all the military. In Venezuela used to be part of it. But after this, with Maduro and these things, it kind of scaled down. You know, but Trinidad and Venezuela used to have exercise. They no longer have it, but they have a good relationship. So the presence back in the Caribbean with the U.S. is nothing new to the citizens of this country, and nobody should panic about it. This is not about war. Nobody's going to have war. It is good to have the U.S. back in the Caribbean because the CARICOM countries do not have the assets to patrol the territory. Because even our own Coast Guard and the vessels are down. So you can't do a patrol or up to Puerto Rico and St. Lucia, Barbados, and all of these guys. But there's no way my vessels are thing right now. So anyway, Mr. Saeed, you keep up the great work you are doing, and I hope the citizens understand this and do not panic. And you did a great job in explaining everything to the citizens of the country. So God bless you and your staff. Take care.
Thank you, my friend. President of the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association, Martin Lumpkin, has confirmed that 80 schools across Trinidad and Tobago have been flagged for police intervention and are now deemed high risk. He shared this information hours after senior officials from the police service and education ministry convened to discuss the logistics of deploying officers potentially armed on school premises. Lumpkin said he was informed by the ministry that police will be deployed at 60 secondary school and 20 primary schools. Lumpkin.
I would have been in discussion with the Honorable Minister. He did identify 80 schools, 60 secondary, 20 primary. I am trying to recall if it was in relation to those schools that are deemed high risk and heavily influenced by violence and indiscipline. I know we also spoke about schools that needed targeted intervention.
Deputy Commissioner of Police Junior Benjamin said the suggestion of armed officers at school has yet to be determined. Benjamin.
The officers, we're going to ensure that our officers again have all the necessary tools that are necessary for them to be able to do their jobs. Whether lethal or non-lethal, we are going to put the necessary things in place. Again, we continue to look at best practice, and as we continue to look at best practice, we're going to let that lead the way.
So viewers, Benjamin said at least 95 Special Reserve Police officers were trained to be deployed at schools. President of the Secondary School Parent Support Group, Rachel, commended the Education Minister, Dr. Michael Dowlett, for engaging schools officials in dialogue, but believes the ministry must provide more specifics on its plan. So hopefully in the coming weeks, viewers, before school open, we're going to get some more specifics on that. I do hope that Benjamin placed armed police officers in the school. I do hope that, for security reasons. I do hope that Trinidad and Tobago, that will be a plus for the officers and them, and that will instill a little fear in the students and them. Why the fear? Don't look for fight. Don't look for fight. If you're looking for fight, you will be treated as a bully. You will be treated as an individual or an adult. Yes, we understand in school. Yes, we understand many parents would want to know, well, why is there a police officer with a gun? So what about in schools we are hearing some in school with bullet, some in school with knives, some students with ice pick, some students even walk with guns. So are you going to put an officer in school with a baton, a piece of wood, or a belt, to pull out a belt? Why place the officer there if he has nothing to protect himself? So I believe the rampage the students are going with these days and this timing in school, armed officers will be the perfect thing for the school. This is just my suggestion. Because remember, we in the media, we just get calls every day, we just be interviewed, we just get interviewed from parents, from children who are being bullied. So I believe Benjamin should let Trinidad and Tobago and the Ministry of Education knows that yes, I am placing officers in school, I am placing my officers, and at the same time I want my officers to be able to protect themselves, not with a piece of baton or a piece of wood or a belt. No. They are police officers, let them act like police officers, because they are going into what? A war zone. I have to say the school these days is like a war zone, you know. So let the officers be protected in the school, even though they are going to protect students. So that's just my suggestion. Moving along, viewers. People's National Movement, PNM leader Penelope Beckles has urged the government and Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar to take immediate action to support displaced workers across Trinidad and Tobago. Well, look who's saying that. Look who's saying that. When the cabinet took the decision to send home 5,000 workers from Petrogen Refinery, where was Beckles? Now Beckles telling Kamala Persad how to do their work. Imagine that. Imagine that. She said that under the current leadership of Trinidad and Tobago, thousands of citizens lost their jobs suddenly. But this is not the first time. It happened under the PNM also. And the effects of many families has been extremely detrimental. It is not the first time. Penelope, where were you back in the day when the refinery was shut down and 5,000 plus workers went home? They didn't know what to do the next day. Why didn't you tell your government, you know what? The cabinet took the decision to shut down the refinery. We have to find a place now for these 5,000 plus workers that went home. How we didn't hear you back then? How we didn't hear you? What did SPNA say? Do not call me 2 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning to ask me how much going. All of them going. Why? The cabinet. Which cabinet? The PNM cabinet took the decision. She criticized the government for offering no plan, no support, and no care for the families or children. So let me just say this now. When the PNM ministers went to visit the diverse family that died, let me tell you something. To this date, no compensation has been given to the driver's family. Which minister said that the government took the decision to step in and make sure the family is compensated? To this day, none of them get nothing. To this date. But Penelope talking? No, Penelope, you must revisit the 9 years. Revisit the 9 years and then come to the public and then demand from the present government. I'm just here to share the truth with all of you know. Just to remind you all of the past government and what we went through for that 9 years. Beckles said the PNM demand that the government act now to show love and care and to help our most vulnerable before more people pay the ultimate price as the government prioritizes scoring cheap political points. Wow. You see, I was saying this, I is not PNM, I is not UNC. I is not PEP, I not PPP. You understand? But I want to tell Penny. I want to tell Beckles. Revisit some of the incidents that the PNM did. And then come demand. Then come and demand. Such a sad thing, eh? You know, it's hard, you know, that all the opposition, all the demanding. Shameless. But nevertheless, viewers, it's that time now where we go for a short commercial break. But when we come back, Embert, shameless move on calculation or cancelling of parade when we return.
We'll be right back.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real public concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Realtalk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
You a curveball and you need a clear path forward. Trust Realtalk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Realtalk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Realtalk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So welcome my viewers. People's National Movement Deputy Political Leader and MP for Digomartin, North, East, Clangenburg, has again criticized the United National Congress decisions to continue with its Monday night report, describing it as shameless. Speaking at a recent news conference, Imbert dismissed the UNC explanation for the security threats for not having the Independence Parade, noting the UNC assembles in one part of the country every Monday. Imbert said if somebody wanted to exterminate all of these high officials, they are all there in one spot. Listen to it.
Think of one word to describe it, and that word is asinine. And I say it's asinine because every Monday, the entire UNC cabinet assembles in some part of the country at night. If somebody wanted to exterminate all of these high officials, they're all there in one spot. At the Independence Parade, you have all of the divisions of the Army, Coast Guard, Air Guard, Police, Fire Service, and various paramilitary organizations. I think if I did an estimate of the number of persons under arms at a parade, I would say about 1,000. If you look at all the persons marching with guns and all of the other police and other protective services around with arms, I would say about 1,000.
If someone wanted to kill all the officials, they are there in the parliament. They are there in the parliament also. But nevertheless, we really bad that battle for them. Imbert said, therefore, if the cabinet feels safe to assemble in one area of the country at night, how can they feel unsafe at the Independence Day parade? He believes it is a distraction from other issues. Imbert.
In daylight with 1,000 armed persons around them. That's why I say his comment is asinine. And I believe it's an attempt to obfuscate, it's to create a red herring, it's to distract from the real issues.
Prime Minister Kamala Prasad-Bisesa has since stated that UNC's Monday night report would continue, although there will be minor national security adjustment in order to protect some ministers. She said she was relying on the advice of the ministers in the national security portfolios. A $2.8 million hit has been put on the lives of government ministers Wayne Serge, Barry Patharat, and Khatija Amin, as well as Unemployment Relief Program Manager Feroz Khan, according to police intelligence. So Trinidad and Tobago, it is up to the UNC to do what they think is best. The parade, I think that will be the 63rd Independence Parade in Trinidad and Tobago. But it is also up to the ministry to do or not to do. All we can do is voice an opinion, but they have the final say. Moving along, Justice Minister Devesh Maharaj have stated that virtual court hearing may soon resume at the Port of Spain Magistrate Court as the government seeks to alleviate some of the stress placed on officers at the Benson Street Police Station. He stated that they have started with a comprehensive review of the Port of Spain Division, acknowledging the pressure officers at the Benson Street Station were facing with these responsibility of hosting virtual hearing.
We visited a specific area in the Magistrates Court in an effort to alleviate a problem in many police stations in Trinidad, and they're under a lot of stress with their virtual courtrooms. A lot of their rooms
have to be used as virtual courtrooms, thus preventing the police from efficiently carrying out their duties. So we are looking to see whether in a short term we can get a place in the magistrates court where these virtual courtrooms can be effected quickly and efficiently.
Now, viewers, he refused to disclose which part of the courthouse they had found favor with, but said this will be revealed after discussions with the judiciary. Meanwhile, Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander said there was only one solution to this situation. Roger.
If we can find a way to give them back that space, I can see this thing working out quite well. Technology has been embraced by all, no more than ever. So we will not allow that to pass us. But technology must also incorporate comfort, giving persons the opportunity to do their job, and at the same time achieving their goal.
Moving along, viewers. Former Prime Minister and Energy Minister Stuart Young has since disputed the government's claim of initiating the newly signed production sharing contract with ExxonMobil for Block TTUD-1. Young said the agreement stemmed from negotiation starting under the previous People's National Movement administration, adding that while the term could have been approved before the April 20th election, his government opted not to rush the process. Meanwhile, opposition leader Penelope Beckles has shared her former colleague's sentiment. Listen to this.
They're so bold-faced. They will not give former Minister Stuart Young and the Honorable Prime Minister, former Prime Minister Dr. Rowley, not a single credit. And that negotiation was started in December of 2024 when the People's National Movement was in office.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see documents. Both sides have mouths. Both sides have mouths. But I would like to see documents from both sides, if they have documents stating that they were the one having talks with ExxonMobil. Kamala said her government did it. Stuart Young said his government did it. So which government really did it? And the only way we are going to find out which government did it is with documents. With documents, not just mouth say, because the people of Trinidad and Tobago are tired hearing and people professing and party professing. This one do it, that one do it, the other one do it. But nobody's coming out with documents to actually say, you know what? I have documents to reveal. This is emails. This is correspondence from UNC government to ExxonMobil. This is correspondence from PNM administration to ExxonMobil. So in the meantime, who did it? Who had discussions? Which party started discussions? And this is what we want, transparency. Penelope saying she shared her sentiment with Chinese boy. And then we have on the next side now, UNC Kamala saying they did it, they sealed it, they had everything. So who could bring out documents to let Trinidad and Tobago citizens actually know, hey, it was us? This we don't have. And this we would like to see. So stop the backbiting. Stop the he say, she say. Stop the mouth talking. We want evidence. We want documents. That is what we want. Leave it to me. Leave it to me. The both side playing tic-tac-toe. That's what the both side playing. Tit for tat. We did it. No, we did it. We did it. No, we did it. And they're going on. And Trinidad and Tobago citizens now watching two individuals. Two clowns. Two want to be. So instead of showing the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, you are clowns. Instead of showing the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, you are want-to-bees. Come up with documents. Because all we know the PNM did was dragon gas. From January to December, you hear dragon gas, dragon gas, dragon gas. They paid Venezuela government $1 million US, and we ain't got as much as he had.